Hey everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts back once again, another reaction for guys. We're here with the first two episodes of My Adventures with Superman Season 2, the season 2 premiere, aka Episode 1, which is titled More Things in Heaven and Earth, and Episode 2, Adventures with My Girlfriend, of course, Lois. Now, this is exciting, and also I'm curious about why the first two episodes are dropping, because normally when a show does that, there's a story reason or things develop in the first episode that kind of makes sense why Episode 2 also drops at the same time or so, whenever they drop more than one, and then after that, they're going to drop just one episode per week. So, we're getting the first two here now, and then after that, we're going to be getting one a week. So, curious to see why the first two episodes. Maybe it's just to kind of just jumpstart the season even more. Maybe there's a story purpose. We'll find out. I really enjoyed the first season of My Adventures with Superman. It was so fun. It took me a little bit, to be honest, to get used to the animation style and the kind of tone, because it was like, okay, what are they doing here? Because the marketing was pretty good, but ultimately those trailers were kind of hiding a good portion of what was actually occurring, or at least showing things out of context. So now, seeing the first season and what they were doing, I really have loved this show. I really just fell in love with it as it was continuing. So I'm really curious to see what we're going to do here. So we're going to watch the first two episodes, of course, for Season 2 in this one video here. Make one long reaction just to make it easier, because filming two separate videos, it's just kind of ridiculous because they dropped them all at once. So let's just watch the first two episodes here together, guys. Let's dive into it. Let's see what they show us. And yeah, hopefully this season will be as good as Season 1, because for me, I really loved what they did with Season 1, so hopefully Season 2 can just compound on top of what they did for Season 1 and make it hopefully better, or at least still as good as Season 1 with Season 2 here. Let's jump to it now, guys. Let's check out these first two episodes. Let's go. Oh, it's a dream.
Am I not your son? Am I not human?
You're not their son, and you'll never be human.
There is another like you. But we are running.
Kara. It's Kara. Oh, that's adorable.
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone!
Oh, Valentine's Day.
You get a card, and you head of the Flamebird video division. I have to set an example. Money is no object. Anywho, what are you in
Wow.
On the roof of the Daily Planet.
This is not going to
watch
go
the sunset.
how he's hoping it's going to go for Valentine's Day.
On the roof? A grand romantic gesture is the only way to go.
I can call my car guy for you.
Can you read my mind?
Absolutely not.
Don't read a poem.
It was sweet while it lasted.
Valentine's Day is canceled.
Of course it is. What happened?
Vicky Vale of the Gotham Gazette has scooped us on every major news story for months.
Star Labs?
Look,
Yeah?
I built that spaceship. You should be begging me to work.
It's Lex.
Maybe you should have thought of that before you helped Ivo build that suit and destroy Metropolis.
You're that reporter who yelled at me about Superman. Okay.
Well,
so
maybe.
You didn't get off on the right foot. Don't wait for someone to give you a chance. Make one. Carve your own.
Oh, is he inspiring? Oh,
Find the
no.
people who will help you make those dreams a reality. Alex,
Jimmy, come on.
gotta go. Good luck.
Luther. He almost said Luther. Come on. We know.
Hey, Lois! Most meteoroids burn up in the atmosphere.
But this
right?
one has
this
not.
thing disappeared after it broke through.
It's not a meteoroid. It's my spaceship.
What? How do you know?
I saw a vision. I saw the man I think is my father.
The alien hologram?
Was it just a dream?
No. It's trying to warn you or what? Wait a minute.
You. But how?
What?
How did I get in here?
Back to this again, okay. Okay, so he actually did disappear and they're trying to find him.
Are you sure he went this way?
Holy shit. Careful. Careful. Oh, okay, she's good.
He was
This is a
already
big
stressed
ship
about
for
Valentine's
Kara.
Day, and now
Maybe
this
there's
happens.
something else. Maybe it's not Kara.
Valentine's Day?
Oh shit. Okay. Yeah.
What even is this? Why did you try to invade Earth?
Speak with him. Come on.
Why did
Talk
you
with him.
save me after I stopped you from invading Earth?
Which question would you like me to answer first?
You can speak English now?
The translation program needed time to learn your language. I am a ghost. A program containing a scan of your father's mind. The kryptonite is still eating through the ship. We don't have much time. Please. It was about to be destroyed. The Kryptonian Empire had conquered and spread across the stars like a disease. Your mother and I sent you away to save your life. The ship you saw was a dead remnant, an unmanned ghost ship running on autopilot.
The Kryptonians aren't coming back?
The Kryptonians are dead.
Well,
You are the last of us, my brother, and your cousin, Kara. You are the only two Kryptonians in existence. Ship's Brainiac system is trying to isolate the kryptonite in one spot.
Brainiac.
In and out of dimensional space.
the slow turn. Ooh.
The coast is clear, General.
With this many toys to play with, we can finally take out Superman.
Superman. If Sam had done his duty and exterminated the alien, we wouldn't have to be in Antarctica.
Don't worry, General. When we're back at HQ, I'll get him to tell us everything.
How did... Come on.
Not again.
Holy crap.
You brought your mate here. Your fragile human mate, who does not have any of our powers. I don't know how they do things here, but if I had done this to your mother, I would have to perform some sort of very grand romantic gesture to make up for it.
You too!
Who the heck are you?
Ooh.
Stay away from my friends.
Shit.
Is that all you got?
Shit. Shit, shit, shit.
Something that just took down Superman. Get it!
Not anymore.
What? Fortress of Solitude.
Father, what's happening?
The kryptonite is destroying what little of me remains.
There's so much more I want to ask, to tell you.
This sucks.
I know. We have never had enough time. Kal-El. Clark. My boy. You have turned your power into a shield for the helpless. You are more than I could have ever hoped for.
I'm loving this. I'm loving this. And he's gone.
And maybe one day, you'll forgive me for leaving you again.
Does it ever bother you that I'm not...
Human.
Does it ever bother you that I am?
I've got something I need to talk to you about, too.
What?
Something Jarrell showed me. Sorry, you should go first.
Please help me save my dad.
Your dad? Because there's nothing we can't handle together.
Well. Oh, shit.
And we've got all the time in the world.
You are the master of your destiny. You control the outcome of this day.
So that speech was kind of her pep talk to get up in the morning. Mmm.
2 sugars, no milk. Your coffee just the way you like it. Today's the day you talk.
If you will talk.
What do you need me to tell Superman?
I'm
Yeah.
Billy, and this is my dad. He's a volunteer librarian at Stryker's prison. Can you ask him to find my dad? Please?
We will.
You've got a division to run. Flamebird.
What about my team?
Meet Team Flamebird.
Oh, no.
Or whatever your kids call it. Flamebird, a.k.a. you, have posted nothing.
I can do the Flamebird to hear that noise every time.
Mr. White, the interns aren't listening to me.
Of course they're not. You gotta get them in line. Oh.
Jimmy said he got held up and to go ahead. So...
Held up,
Okay,
yeah.
here's the plan to sneak in. I'm a wealthy, gorgeous widow. You are my beautiful bodyguard. Okay, well, what's your...
That's a better plan. Just crunch.
Prisoners.
The whole wing is
Empty.
empty.
Mm.
you're gonna jump
Yep.
in the elevator.
Yep. Oh, well.
What? No. Oh no, I slipped!
At least she's having fun with it. That's funny. Careful, don't be seen. I think he knows her there, maybe.
I was right. It is Task Force X. Hello, colleagues. I'm here to relieve you
Oh,
from
Lois.
my shit.
Oh no. Well, I like that little. Well, okay.
Beacon? What beacon?
He
This
needs
is
he
what
needs
I
that
wanted
beacon.
to talk about earlier. In Antarctica, I found out my cousin also escaped Krypton.
Okay.
What would you like to tell me about your hidden safe houses, Sam? I have a fraction of the high-level tech I should have. I know you hid most of it. Just tell me where. I know a failure when I see one, too.
Is that what you're calling Antarctica?
And how do you know about that?
Task Force X is still mine.
Ooh.
And you know it.
The power struggle there.
Very dramatic, Sam. Is this the way you speak to your daughter? But just like I know how you take your coffee, I know how to break you.
Waller send you in? Tell her.
Dad, I'm here to rescue you.
No!
What we need is to bond as a team. And what better way
Exactly.
to do
Bonding
that
as
than
a team.
Field trip to somewhere like.
I know he doesn't like this one bit. Look at him.
Dad, come on. You're slowing down your own rescue.
Were you trying to get yourself killed? Or was that just a byproduct of this incredibly foolish plan?
Sir, Lois was concerned about you.
I've got this under control.
With all due respect, the fact that you were locked in your own cell.
Yeah, you have no
means
control to
you
that.
don't.
You said the beacon was from Zero Day. That was a failed invasion, Clark. And we don't know anything about your cousin.
We can still protect this planet together.
As long as you get to be number one. Sorry, Sam. I'm not playing by those rules anymore.
Holy
And
shit.
since you've made it clear,
Dude.
I can't
I'm upset because of how he treats you.
Mm-hmm.
You are amazing, and he makes you feel small.
Pretty badass. Oh.
I have no idea what this place is.
It's good that he doesn't know. Hope he's being honest about it too.
It's all right, sir. Billy sent us.
They've been running tests on them, messing with some weird technology.
Of course they are. Of
They're turning
course.
people into living weapons.
Letting them all out.
I can't believe this.
I do what I must. Then I thank them for their service to the United
Damn, this is
States of
pretty
America.
insane.
Of course, that's what happened today.
You can get
Looks
coverage of
like we
that.
got
Let's
our
go.
story.
Yeah.
Oh no, I am not sending interns into a fiery inferno.
The beacon.
You, Man of Steel, have no idea what you're up against.
Oh, sh. Ooh. Damn. Run, run. Uh-oh. What?
You sabotaged the mission.
Of course she did.
Sabotaged me.
Yeah.
The problem with you is that you think those two are the same.
And they got a boat.
Over here.
Over here.
Lois, I'm here. Take them out.
Perfect. Yep. The news. Oh, shit.
You?
Yeah.
Something they need to talk about the whole
There's
car
something
thing.
we need to talk about.
Clark, it's all right. I'm sorry about fighting with you earlier.
At least now I know what to do. Lay
Do
low.
what?
Go off the grid. I've been compromised, Lois.
Yeah,
I
and?
can't risk you.
Well, okay, fair point, but still.
I got it. You can stay with Clark and Jimmy. That way you're not risking me, but
That way, Kent can make up for the fact that he let my daughter go into danger alone.
excellent.
Pull it together. You weren't the only choice to lead this group.
Lex.
My apologies for not reaching you sooner. I'm the one who built the parasite suit. I was Ivo's assistant. I want to help you safeguard Earth from all that threaten it. Aliens and Supermen. Lex Luthor, your new lead scientist.
Well then.
And there you have it, guys. That was the first 2 episodes of My Adventures of Superman Season 2. And I will say, overall, this was great. I had a good time with this. And the interconnecting thread of episodes 1 and 2 of Season 2, these 2 episodes, is Supergirl, Kara. So Clark found out in episode 1 actually finally speaking in English to his holographic father, because I guess the translation or whatever, the translator had to take some time to learn the language. And of course, when it finally does, Clark can actually speak with his father. Well, father in hologram form. He's about to disappear anyways. He finds out basically what was happening with Krypton and everything, and finding out that Kara was also sent out, but we don't know where she is. And I honestly thought at the end of episode 2, because the way we're kind of building up Kara and everything, and there was even rumors and stuff during season 1 that Kara is going to show up. Of course, she didn't. But now we know with the marketing and everything, we've seen like bits and pieces of Kara here and there, and then here we're talking about her in episode 1. We're seeing a baby Kara, and now we have the beacon in episode 2. At the end of episode 2, I'm expecting we're going to see Kara. But no, we end on the Lex Luthor note, which we'll get to. I think overall, these 2 episodes, I think, are a great kind of reintroduction to the show, and also setting up new things as well, especially with the whole Flamebird thing. And it's unfortunate that Jimmy's not really hanging out with Clark and Lois too much, but still he's part of the show, and he has his own group and everything, the intern kids, and then I forget that guy's name, but that one guy. And I like to also, just a little tidbit about Jimmy real fast, and we'll move on, is the fucking counter that pops up, like his bank account or whatever, keeps dropping down. It's like eventually, I think by the end of the season, he's going to be out of money. I think that's the joke that we're kind of building up to. We see how much money he's just spending willy-nilly. I think episode 1 was great in terms of reintroducing Task Force X, because even though the show hasn't been gone for too long, it's been roughly a year or so, or I mean maybe a little bit less than a year, but basically we've had a number of months and a number of time since last year when season 1 came out. So we're showing Amanda Waller, showing Deathstroke, and we're showcasing the ship and everything in Antarctica, and we're seeing Clark's having visions, because Clark was having some visions in season 1 and kind of seeing things. And so having all that involved and everything, and kind of bringing forth something new, but also kind of building off what was happening in season 1, and then him talking with his holographic father, of course, Jor-El, and them actually having conversations. And then the whole Valentine's Day thing was also in the back of the episode as well, in terms of like the romantic gesture. And even his father was saying, you know, I need to really give a romantic gesture, like a giant big gesture. It's like, you too. It's like, that's the funny little tidbits about the show, I think, that works in terms of like the tone of the show is very serious, in terms of like giving us some really deep and some crazy story in terms of like the interconnectedness of these characters and everything, and their relationships, their dynamics, and the stories about the intergalacticness, of course, of Krypton and the failed invasion. So a lot of stuff, a lot of moving parts, a lot of moving pieces here. But they also find ways to kind of keep that kind of humor in spots where it makes sense. Because if they were just throwing in random bits of attempted humor just to try to, you know, add some levity to the show, and it really wasn't working, then it would be really uncomfortable and probably cringy, as they say. I hate using that word, but it would just not feel comfortable, because you're like, the show's trying to do something here, and you're trying to throw in something to add some levity. They found a pretty good balance of having multiple tones throughout episodes and just overall a season of the show in season 1, and they're bringing that continuing here with season 2, so I really do appreciate that. I think having Clark fight off against that, I forget like what character he like basically became, but that one guy who basically expanded and became like a version of Bane, essentially. But Task Force, as we learned in episode 2, Task Force X is experimenting on just prisoners that people wouldn't care about if they went missing, because they're testing. And then they created Atomic Skull in episode 2. We got to see Atomic Skull, which was pretty crazy. We'll get to that more in a second. But within episode 1, we got to see where Clark was having to deal with kryptonite again, and then finding out that Slade did get some kryptonite on his blades, so that's not good for the future, because they did contain the piece, because Jimmy actually got the piece of kryptonite. But still, there is still remnants of it that Wilson was able to grab. So that's not good. And Jimmy also kind of inspired Lex in episode 1, which we got to see the payoff in episode 2, essentially. Or, well, not necessarily, I guess you say a payoff in terms of story point and kind of moving the story forward, but also Jimmy's the one who inspired Lex in episode 1 to go the direction he's going to be ending up going with Task Force X and working with Amanda. So Jimmy's like, yeah, man, you got to carve your own way. You got to find a way, because that's what Jimmy did, right? With Flamebird. He carved, you know, he's still working for the Daily Planet. He still found his own way to have something of his own that is interconnected, but still it's his own thing, Flamebird. Like, he carved his own way, and that unfortunately is telling Lex Luthor to then go forward the way he is going to go. So not good at all. So yeah, I think overall episode 1 was a great kind of getting back into the show and everything, and then also having some pretty big story points, and ultimately leading to where we have a Fortress of Solitude, which I think was great, because it really just makes it feel more like a Superman show, right? Because essentially he kind of had a fortress, but not really, because he didn't want to go near it. But out in the the Kent farm, his ship, whatever, it's underground and everything, but it was kind of like a place where he could go to try to find out some answers. Unfortunately, he wasn't getting a lot. He was just kind of seeing visions and hearing his father speak in a language he didn't understand, Kryptonian, so he didn't understand what the language was. And so now he truly has a Fortress of Solitude. And I like the fact that it's different. A lot of times Fortress of Solitude is just like somewhere in the Antarctica, and it's built into like a mountain or something. In this case, it's floating crystals, right? And it's a staircase into a giant crystal that has like this design. And literally, like, so it's a very different looking fortress. Now, here's the thing. I think that's going to be more noticeable when people come out to try to find what the hell's in Antarctica. Because they said the meteor that was crashing down or whatever, it disappeared over Antarctica where the visions were taking place, and it ended up in another location in Antarctica, but still the ship was there. And now in Antarctica, they do have the fortress. So I'm thinking at some point, someone's going to come across the Fortress of Solitude. We'll have to wait and see. My guess is they will. I'm guessing someone's gonna find it. Probably Task Force X. Maybe somebody that's supposed to. They also were referencing Brainiac a little bit too in episode 1. In episode 2, it felt more like an episode that were like into the show. Like in terms of like how you can tell when certain episodes are kind of built as kind of start of a season show or start of a show. Like in terms of like how it's being built up. And the kind of structure for episode 2 was like, okay, we're fully into it, and you better be at least hopefully mostly caught up with what's happening, because we have Sam Lane being captured and he's in prison, and then there's Amanda. Like opening with the episode with Amanda like giving a pep talk to herself was kind of jarring. I'm like, what the fuck? But that's her way of kind of pushing herself and trying to give her that motivation to get out of bed to do what needs to be done. Because as she was saying to Sam throughout the episode in bits and pieces, and also in season 1 as well, saying, I played second fiddle, I was your second in command, you were always running the thing, but you weren't doing what was needed to be done. I know what needs to be done. And so Amanda was doing what she thought was right, or in her sense, what needs to be done in terms of taking these prisoners, because that kid walked up to Superman, of course, well, Clark, and was saying, my dad's missing, he was working at the prison, and his dad and all these other people were taken, and they were being tested on, and Atomic Skull came out of that, right? Atomic Skull, which was all, like the design, the execution of the actual like powers and everything, and fighting Superman was honestly some of the best moments of the show that I can remember. Like in season 1, there was a lot of great moments, and I think this is one of the better moments of what the show, in terms of like action, in terms of character design, because a lot of the characters in season 1 more mechanical and not so much trying to be more traditional of their counterparts. And I think this was definitely hopefully an inclination of where the show could end up really going, in terms of trying to get away from the tech in a sense and going more of like traditional in a sense, because Atomic Skull really felt like more like a traditional version of Atomic Skull. Like I think it really worked to see that character in the way because they could have easily went more mechanical, which they were doing in season 1 with a lot of the villains they were introducing. So I like the fact that we were going more traditional in the sense of Atomic Skull, like that, because see, I'm not one of those people that was like hugely negative on the tech side of season 1, the villains and everything, what they were doing, because it made sense because of all of the Kryptonian tech that had basically been dispersed, and everything kind of happened with the failed invasion decades prior. It makes sense. Story-wise, I would have criticized it if it didn't make sense. I think there are people that were criticizing it because they weren't used to it for Superman stories to have a bunch of tech involving around villains of Superman. But it really made sense in terms of what they were telling in this story, because it's adaptation. With Atomic Skull, I think it's kind of leading to that we can have more than just the tech-based weapon, or the tech-based weapon characters, or the villains, or whatever that we were kind of seeing in season 1, that we could be expanding past that. So I think they did a pretty damn good job with that. Now, in terms of leading into what's going to happen next, I think the whole Kara thing's probably going to come to a head maybe in the middle of the season. Because like I was saying, I was expecting at the end of this episode for Kara to show up or get teased in essentially like terms of like, okay, this is where she is, but no, it's Lex who's there to stop Evo, or it's Ivo, and for him to say, Alex, Lex Luthor, your lead scientist, to Amanda Waller. Now, I think something bad's going to happen during an experiment or something. He's going to lose his hair. I think that we're going to get that bald look of Lex probably by the end of season 2, I'm guessing. And the thing is, I think they did a pretty interesting job in terms of setting up Lex, or Alex, in season 1. Because people were like, this is Lex Luthor. But they didn't confirm, but everyone's like, this is Lex Luthor. But now officially, even though the marketing gave it away, which they shouldn't have done that, but I guess they were just trying to get ahead of it. Like, okay, you all know it's Lex Luthor, so we're just going to show you in the trailer it's Lex Luthor. But here he is. And so I think he's going to play a much bigger role in season 2. They're already talking about season 3 and season 4 in terms of like they're outlining it and planning for it. It hasn't been greenlit officially yet. My guess is if we do get a season 3 past season 2 and season 4, Lex is probably going to be playing more of a role in those upcoming seasons if we do get them. And I feel like we should. I feel like this show deserves to have a good run, because I feel like they have plenty of story to tell and they have a lot of interesting directions. I mean, literally the end of this episode, which this can be more on the Clark side, but I think it's gonna be really an interesting dynamic to see Jimmy and Clark living with Sam. Like Lois just openly just says, yeah, just do that. Bad choice. Also too, to note, Lois kind of being hesitant about reaching out to try to find Kara. It is a little discerning for their relationship, because Lois, like, we see a lot of like great little moments of Lois and Clark, and you know, having these moments where she jumps off into the elevator shaft and says, you always be there to catch me. I feel like there's gonna be a time where he's not there to catch her. I feel like that's what they're leading up to, because she literally says in the elevator shaft, well, of course I know you're gonna catch me, Smallville, I know you're gonna catch me. Something's gonna happen to where he won't be able to. I feel like that's what they're kind of setting up with that little line there. Because, see, a lot of times with shows, if it's good writing, and in this case, the show has good writing, you don't say a line and then never really pick it up later, right? There's a number of shows that don't have great writing, and they throw out lines that may mean something later, and it actually never does. And in this case, based on what this show has done, this line is very particular. You will always catch me. I know you're always going to catch me, Smallville. Like, just, she knows if I jump, you're going to catch me. That's going to come back later. It's going to, because this is how good this show is. And if it doesn't, then it doesn't. But I feel like just the way it's kind of set up, the fact that they're building up to her jumping off, it's going to lead to something. But the fact is that she is kind of concerned about reaching out to find Kara, but I get her point, because the failed invasion that happened before, that's where the beacon came from. We don't know how Kara's going to be. Because Kara could literally have grown up wherever she's been stuck at, or basically just aged up, and she may be having the mindset of what the invaders were wanting to do, what Zod was wanting to do, right? And they tease that up in episode 1 again too here about you know, we know what's going on out there. We know what's going on out there with Zod and everything, and I think like that's probably going to be in the back half of season 2. That's my guess. But I think Kara's introduction is probably going to be pretty interesting, and I wonder how Lois is going to respond, and I mean, that's the question. How is Kara going to be when we actually meet her? Because though we've seen Kara, they've been teasing Kara with the poster and in the marketing a little bit. They're really hiding what exactly Kara's role is going to be, and what, like, how she's going to be in the show. We don't know. So I feel like it's going to be a lot of trust and questions, but I feel like it's going to work out at the end, because it's, you know, Superman and Superman and Kara. Like, it's going to be Superman and Supergirl. So like, we're going to see how this works out. But yeah, so hope you guys enjoyed the reaction of the first 2 episodes of My Adventures of Superman. I really enjoyed the return of the show. It's awesome the show is back, and it's good that we actually know properly when the show is actually going to come back, because when it said that, you know, 25th or whatever, May 25th at midnight, a lot of us were thinking Friday night, which becomes May 25th at midnight, May 25th, and then Saturday on Max. No, it's actually Saturday at midnight, which already is, then it goes into the next day, and then it's on Max on Sunday morning. So now we know. When the show comes out. But anyways, guys, I really enjoyed the first 2 episodes. I can't wait for the next episode. Hope you guys enjoyed the reaction. Here's what we guys up at the episodes of the first 2 episodes here of My Adventures of Superman Season 2. Let me know your thoughts, guys, in the comments below. Talk to you guys soon. Peace out.